Hi, welcome to Bonita's Kitchen and thank you for joining us. What I'm going to be making today is a delicious boilerful of pumpkin soup. Now what I'm going to be using today is this small pie pumpkin, and this is a baking pumpkin, but today I'm going to turn it into a pot or a bowl of soup. You can also use the canned pumpkin puree, and that's not sweetened, but today we're going to make this right from scratch. I'll show you what needs to be done. If this interests you, stick around and let's get started. So all I did with this small pumpkin is to just rinse it off with cold water and then wipe it dry with a towel. And in advance I peeled one stalk of celery, one onion cubed. I got parsnip. Now I don't know if you have had parsnip before. It's a sweet vegetable, and it's really nice in soups and stews. So I cut up one of them and cubed it. Did the same with potato and carrot. So it's one of each, and you can go more if you want it. So I got it in some water. I'm going to rinse that off or drain that off and put that into my boiler of hot water. Pretty much all I'm going to do with this in advance is put it all in together, of course, into my saucepan of hot water, and a half a teaspoonful of sea salt. I'm going to leave a half a teaspoonful to add in with all of the ingredients after. Put this on a medium to high heat, only until it's fork tender. So now let's cut that pumpkin. Now we don't necessarily need the stalk, so I'm going to remove that. I'm going to turn it upside down so it's stable, and then I'm going to cut it down the middle, just like this. Now I'm going to scoop out the pumpkins, but I want to keep some of these seeds, and I made myself just a little fall wrap pan, because I'm going to be baking this in the oven with these pumpkins. I'll talk about that, but right now I'm just going to take out as many of these seeds as I can, and then I'm just going to top it with some cinnamon, and pretty much that's all I'm going to do. I just want to roast it just for a garnish over the soup and a few to snack on. Take your spoon and scoop out the pulp on the inside. Of course, there's more seeds there that I can get, but I'll just leave that for now, just to clean out the pumpkin as much as possible, leaving it all out like that. That's all. So after you've scooped them out, just take yourself a pan with a piece of parchment paper and turn them upside down in the pan like this. Then take some cinnamon, probably half a teaspoonful or so, and mix it in with your seeds. If you want to keep them. If you don't want to keep them, no worries, but I just like to have it for snacking. And I might even take a little sprinkle of salt and put over the top. So now let me tell you how long you need to roast the pumpkin for. So now what you need to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to pop these in the oven. Make sure it's on a tray with a little piece of parchment paper to keep the drippings, because it will have a little small amount of liquid coming from the pumpkin, and we'll keep that as well. And as well, put the seeds in there on the same rack and let them roast every now and then. Just toss it around with a spoon. Then, of course, your vegetables, let that cook until fork tender. And when all of that's done, we're going to put it together. Show you what it looks like. Oh, before we go, you need to keep them in there for 60 minutes or until baked, depending on the size of your pumpkin. So after when your pumpkin have baked, and of course I got here those delicious pumpkin seeds, nice and crunchy, I'm going to scoop this pulp out, put it into a bowl, then go over and get my vegetables and put that in there, and then I'm going to show you what we'll do with that. So now I'm doing this while it's piping hot because we're making soup. But if you wanted to let it just cool down a little bit so it's not going to be so hot to your hands, you can do that, because after we make the soup, you could put it back into the saucepan and warm it again so that you can serve it hot. And you can also have this soup cold. So all I'm doing here now is taking all of that delicious pulp and putting it into my bowl. This is so hot, Raymond. I should have had you over here at this. Put on your gloves, like. I'm a sucker for punishment for this stuff. So you don't have to, like I said, scoop it out if it's too hot. Let it cool down for a little bit. So that's all I need to do there. Now I'm going to reach for my vegetables. So now pretty much what you're going to do, you're going to scoop in there all of these delicious root vegetables. You could put turnip. I don't have turnip in there. Parsnip, carrot, potato. We got some celery, onion, and put that all in there together. That's all you need to do there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is season all of this up. We're going to put the remainder of our salt, which is about half a teaspoonful, 1 teaspoonful of ground or fresh ginger, and I got a tablespoonful of butter. You can have melted or room temperature. It's going to melt in there anyway. I got 1 clove of garlic, and I'm going to just press it in there. You could use ground or garlic powder, not salt, because it's already salt in there. We got a half a teaspoonful of pepper. I'm using black, but you could use white pepper as well. We got 1/4 teaspoonful of nutmeg, and just the moisture in here today. We got 1 teaspoonful of onion powder. Pretty much we're going to have all that mixed in there together. But what I'm going to do is use my handheld blender, or you could use your mixer, your stand-up mixer, or a mixer with a hook, and just blend all this together. And I'm going to as well toss in at a time about 2 cups of the vegetable broth, and just be careful. The mixer is quite noisy, so I won't be mixing it with the camera on, but that's some more broth. I'm up to 2 cups. You can use more if you want, and about 1/4 cup of cream. All right, so pretty much you're just going to keep using your handheld blender until you see that it's smooth like this. And now I'm going to have a little sample just to see if I need to add any more spices. Oh my goodie, that's tasty, Raymond. You can taste that ginger bite in there, plus the seasonings. But again, I'm going to say spice it up the way you like it. Maybe you might like a little bit more ginger or some more salt. Now, let's scoop up some.
I know one thing for sure.
What's
it looks good from this side.
Oh, yeah.
And it smells delicious.
I know, it's got such a lovely smell, hasn't it?
Yep.
Yum. Now, I like this type of soup when it's a cold day and you want some comfort food. Well, this would be it, because, you know, soup and bread, I mean, who could ask for anything better than that? And what I'm going to be serving with this today is a cinnamon bread. And I got that on Bonita's Kitchen. It's called cinnamon raisin bread. And I'm going to share that link with you as well. So now, as you can see, a nice slice of this cinnamon bread. I'm going to bring you in a bit closer. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it next. Then I'm going to have a little taste. Of course, I want to top it with another little bit of salt and pepper just to taste. A garnish of some celery leaves, and top with a few of those pumpkin seeds. Now just look at this. Can you see yourself having a bowl? So good. This smells so good. I can't wait to get into it. But before I do, I just want to say, you know, you can have this soup any season because you can buy the cans of the pumpkin. And as well, when I, like this time of the year in the fall, I buy many of those pie pumpkins, baking pumpkins, and I cook them down and I freeze it. I have it for days like this, making soups, making bread. So good.
And like, you know, I know I'm just waiting with my bowl.
I'm
But
gonna drop
another,
this.
yeah, I know you're going to drop the spoon, delicious. But another one of those affordable meals.
Affordable meals, because to answer Raymond's question, of course, we all got fresh vegetables in our home, or if you don't have fresh vegetables, you know, you got access to them. And like you said, the pumpkin is something that you could do in advance or just buy the canned. Things that you already got in your home to make it affordable. But this soup, oh my gosh, the taste of that ginger just melts in my mouth with the creaminess and the silkiness of the soup. And of course, I'm gonna have the bread here with the cinnamon raisin. But make yourself a grilled cheese or whatever you got available. It doesn't matter. I got the eel part too because I want to dip it in. To have that cinnamon taste as well. So good. I can't wait for you to make it. Again, you can serve this soup hot or cold, doesn't matter. And as well, I'm going to share the link to the bread. I'm going to share the link to all of our pumpkin recipes on there if you want access to it. This recipe today is going to be under this video. Of course, it should be see more or an arrow pointing down. Just click that and it would open. If you can't find it there, visit us on our website, www.bonitaskitchen.com. You can also get our recipe by following us on our Facebook page, and you can send me a message at bonitakitchen@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. So with that said, if you got any more questions about this recipe or any of our recipes to date, you can send us a message on that email. So we won't take any more of your time. We know it's precious. And we thank each and every one of you for spending a little bit of it with us here today. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, we urge you to do so. And you can see all of our delicious recipes. On behalf of myself, Raymond, and our team here at Bonita's Kitchen, and from our kitchen to yours, you have a wonderful day. And don't forget to join us again on Bonita's Kitchen.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's Kitchen to yours. Bonita's Kitchen, to yours.